Just a quick recap of the story. So far, starting from where we left off in the previous week, Bharata, the character of Bharata was introduced in the previous week, if I'm not wrong. We saw what an emotional person Bharata is, what all emotions that he went through. Every person is an emotional person. Technically speaking, everybody has emotions, but the depth of emotions, the impactfulness of those emotions that we found in Bharata were really an eye-opener. And also, sometimes it could also be very surprising to know that there was a brother like Bharata who held his elder brother Rama at such a high regard. In a world today, in today's world, it's hard to find such brothers. Okay. So we saw how Bharata decided that he needs to meet Rama, and he took upon himself, he constructed the largest, grandest of all roads leading from Ayodhya to Panchavati. And finally, he reached Rama. He wanted to meet his brother, so he could not take more than 2 or 3 steps. He fell down unconscious. And this is where we had actually stopped the story. Now, taking this ahead, today's discussion, today's lecture, we will have a bit of very unique discussions, especially discussions related to political science, the art of governance, administration, what is Arthashastra, how a king is supposed to look after his subjects, what are the duties of a king. So these are some of the intricacies that we are going to discuss today. So this session might not be entirely a storytelling session. This could be one of the most intellectual sessions in throughout the journey of Ramayana. So if anybody finds it a bit over the top, or if you find it a bit difficult to digest, kindly bear with me, because this is the most crucial part. This is the only part of the Ramayana story where this much of political science is involved. Why do we need to focus on this part? I have a very simple answer. You must have heard that for anybody, there is an example, or that they give they set some benchmarks. A king, if he is a king, or if he's a leader, if he's a statesman, if he's a politician, how he should be, who is an ideal politician, who is an ideal leader. When it comes to a family man, maybe Rama is not the example that is given. Yeah, no problem. That is not the example usually given to people in the world when it comes to family man. But when it comes to a king, when it comes to a leader, there is nobody else other than Rama who is given as an example. So what is the speciality about Rama that makes him such a great leader, that even after so many years, even after so many yugas have passed, we still consider Rama as an example for a great leader. We still consider Rama Rajyam as a benchmark for a state. And we get to find such kind of things because Valmiki does not go describing Rama's Karyakalam, that is, the way Rama ruled his kingdom, how he interacted with his subjects, what was it like to be in Rama's kingdom. He doesn't deal with it in length. So he simply mentions them. But when it comes to the discussion or the debate that is going to happen between Rama and Bharata, we find great insights that our poet Valmiki had in Arthashastra, as well as we get to know why one Rama is enough for the so many characters that our Mahabharata has to offer. Again, I'm not making this comparison, but most people, when I ask them, they say that, why do you like Mahabharata? Their simple answer is, they have plenty of characters. And for every attribute, for every virtue, you have a character. You don't need so many characters in life. You need only one man. You need only one hero. And that hero is going to be Rama here today. Because you can find Arjuna in him. You can find the traces of Arjuna in Rama. Not the trace, how Arjuna got all those abilities. Who was Arjuna's idol? Is Rama. We can find Yudhishthira's Dharma Prajna in Rama. Is there anything that is not in Rama? It's the answer is no, because Rama has everything that it takes. So anyway, this is going to be a bit related to political science. So the questions might be very interesting. So we will see how it begins. Now, Rama, he took Bharata and he made him sit on his lap, and then he started asking him questions. First, he consoled him because he was unconscious. Slowly, Bharata gained consciousness, and later on, Rama started asking him a few questions. The first and foremost question was that he asked is, where is our father? Why have you left him alone and come to forest? You are his son. A son is not supposed to abandon their parents. Lesson number 1. How to be a good son. 101. Point number 1. Never abandon your parents. So the first question that Rama asked Bharata was, why did you come here, leaving behind Daśaratha? I don't see him. You have come alone. What have you done? Has he banished you? Has he sent you to forest? Did you do something to offend him? Or did you lose the kingdom to somebody else, to our opponents, to an enemy? Did you lose the kingdom to an enemy? Because you still are a child. For Rama, Bharata is always a child. So he's saying that balastvam. So did you lose? And then you don't look well. So this is kind of generating several questions in me. Is my father alive? Is he alive? Or I think he must be alive. Then I think I'm very sure that you have lost the kingdom. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you taking proper care of the kingdom? And making this as a point, Rama gives us an insight, a fantastic, a magnificent insight into Rajadharma, into Dandaniti. If anybody wants to study Kautilya's Arthashastra, you can study Kautilya's Arthashastra all you want, but you won't get a concise, a summary of Kautilya's Arthashastra better than the 100th Sarga of Ayodhya Kandam in Ramayana. Rama simply concises, he summarizes everything that is to be known in Rajya Shastra, in Dandaniti. So, first, and now he begins to ask questions related to politics, governance. He asks, do you still listen to him? Do you still take his counsel? Or have you confined him to a room? Have you made him retired to a room? Do you not take his suggestions, opinions in all the decisions that you take? And then he asks, are you treating your mothers well? Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikeyi, are you behaving well with them? He knows he's still a young boy, Bharata, the youth, the exuberance of youth. So sometimes, the young people, they shout at their parents, etc., etc. Rama knows all these things. So that's why he's asking. Two of the most important people in this entire world, father and mother, our parents. So the first question is dedicated to them. It doesn't matter if you are a normal worker, a layman, or if you are a king. For everybody, parents are everything. We must take care of them. That's why I said, how to be a good child. Lesson number 1, always take care of your parents. That is why Rama asked this question to Bharata. And then he goes on and asks, are you listening to the suggestions of Purohita? Then he asks about, that is Vasishtha. By Purohita, he means Vasishtha. And then, are you keeping the counsel of your ministers? Are you listening to them? Have you appointed a Senadhyaksha, a commander-in-chief for your armies? Have you appointed a treasurer, an economic analyst, economic advisor these days in modern terms? Have you kept someone who takes care of all the bills and everything? Have you appointed good doctors? Are you taking care of them? Are you paying them well? Are you listening to their demands? Are you taking care of them? Have you made every necessary arrangements throughout the kingdom for Brahmanas to carry on with their tapas? That is R&D, basically. And the ashramas, the universities back in those days, the gurukulas, basically, those were the centers of excellence. Those were the learning centers. So Bharata is being questioned by Rama whether you are taking care of those institutions or not. Are you taking care of the teachers? Are you taking care of the people who do worship gods in several temples on your name, on your behalf? This was the norm even when places like Mysore had kings. I have heard this from my grandparents, that every temple, every priest, what was the sankalpam they used to do when they did puja every day? It was for the welfare of the king. May it be Nalvadi Krishnaraja Odayar, whom we call Rajarshi, whoever it may be, whoever was the king, they used to make sankalpam in the name of the king. Every temple, not just in and around the premises of the palace, throughout the kingdom, every temple had this sankalpam, which is gone nowadays. Absolutely gone. No temple does that anymore. Very rarely you may find it. And because that was needed. And it was not an order by the king. People used to do it from their own will. Because he was the Annadata. He is the Ashrayadata. He was the one who took care of them. So he asks, Rama asks Bharata that, are you taking care of them? Are they performing pujas on behalf of you? And why are they performing pujas in temples? Why do we offer puja at temples? I mean, why do priests perform pujas at temples? Not for the benefit of themselves. Not for only those people who contribute 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. No, that's the modern day conception of temples. The actual conception of temple is for the welfare of the people, for the welfare of the country. Just imagine the amount of responsibility a priest has on his shoulders. And what is the responsibility, the counter responsibility of a king? That's why Rama is asking, are you taking care of them? And then he speaks about soldiers and people who are serving you, the servants, and the people who are recruited for salary, the salaried people, the typical middle class people. He asks them, are you giving them salary on time? Look at the concept, look at the care that Rama has towards his subjects, or what kind of concern a leader needs to have towards his subjects when he wants to rule a country, when he wants to rule a state, or when he wants to run a company. You can either shorten it, you can either expand it, however you want to see, but these are the vital things that we need to focus on. Rama mentions a beautiful point. He says that, what happens if we don't pay them salary on time? In the history, we have several such occasions when there has been a revolt, when there has been mutiny, when the salary have not been paid to the soldiers, especially to the soldiers. So any government's first and foremost responsibility is to pay the salaries of the soldiers, because you are getting their service. They have dedicated their life. They are putting their lives on the line for the sake of this country, for the sake of this kingdom, and they are fighting on behalf of you. They are fighting on your name. And if you don't take care of them, it's going to be a huge adharma. And that adharma falls on the shoulders of the king. That's why he asked him. And then he says that, are you doing all the works? How should a king perform his activities? How should his plans should be, his agendas, his introduction of various norms and amendments, bills, laws, everything, how it should be. Rama mentions it in one simple term, Laghu Moolam Mahodayam. The beginning should be simple. Its end must be grand. Small beginnings, grand endings. That should be the mantra of any successful company, state, country, world, whatever you want to rule. This is the simplest of mantra. Laghu Moolam Mahodayam. Simple beginnings and grand endings. And then he asks particularly about Krishi Go Raksha Jivinaha, people who are involved in farming, agriculture, and business. Are you taking care of them? Why? Because this entire world depends on them. Not just depends, this entire world runs on them. They are the engine room. We may make the law. We may take care of people at distress. We may provide them money. But if the farmers, if they don't cultivate the land, if they don't produce the food, if the businessmen do not do business, then this world will stop. We all experienced it for a little while, a couple of years ago. So that's how things are. Anyway, so that's why he asks, are you taking care of them? And then people say that back in those days, there was no particular law about protection of women. There was a law, because Rama asked this question, Kachit striyas santvayase kachit taste surakshitaha. Have you made sure, have you ensured the safety of women? This is the first two lines of that shloka. And the next, the immediate line might offend few self-acclaimed feminists, but I don't mind. But that line needs to be told. He says that Kachinna shraddadhasyasam vachaneshu. I hope you are not trusting their words. You don't take their counsel. How can he say this? A person like Rama, can he say this to womanhood? Can he say this to females? You cannot take their counsel while making some confidential decisions that can impact the entire kingdom. That's what he meant. He did not mean that they should be dismissed entirely from the services. He's not mentioning that. He's only saying that do not reveal any kind of confidential reports, confidential matters to people who have a loose tongue. They are known for it. They can't keep secrets. They cannot. They simply cannot. So you have to play, or you have to adapt yourself to their strength. You can't have the best of both sides. They are very good at few things, but they are very bad at communicating, because their communicating skills is too expressive and they cannot hold on to a national secret. And if you reveal all the secrets to them, it's bound to happen that they will reveal it to few other people while talking. This is exactly why Kautilya discusses in his Arthashastra that women should be deployed in other states as spies and messengers to get information from other countries. You have to put them into good use. You have to use their strength. But at the same time, you should not reveal the national secrets to them. Here, it's not just gender specific, it's character specific. If a man has such kind of an attribute, then he must not be involved in these kind of services. He mentions further. Sorry. And then he asks about his accounts book, tally, 9.0, 11.0, whatever it is. He asks him, what does your income says? The income should be more and expenses must be less. I hope you are maintaining that kind of a bill. And he says that, we know that if a person gets convicted, if a person is taken into some court, and if he has committed some crime, there is a provision in modern Indian law that he can be left by paying some ransom. That we call it, that system as bailing him out. They set a bail amount, and if he pays that amount, he can walk free. Just observe the words that Rama is saying here. He says that Kachinna muchyate choraha dhanalobhan nararshabha. Dhanalobha, the word dhanalobha refers to the state. The state needs money. The state needs to generate income. This could be one of the ways of generating income, right? There are plenty of thieves, criminals, but they have plenty of money as well. So why not take money from them? How do we take money from them? We will put an FIR on them. We will arrest them. We will put them in jail for 2 days. Then we will take them in front of a court. And then the court will decide that he can be granted bail upon so and so conditions if he pays this much of money, and he can roam around free. So that money goes directly to the state treasury. This is not a proper practice. That's why he asks, Kachin namuchyate choraha. No thief should be let out for the sake of money. The idea of bail is absolutely wrong. And then, he says that, I hope you are taking care of all the people in your kingdom, and no person in your kingdom should have tears in his eyes. Why? Because yani mithyabhishastanam patantya shruni raghava. Because the tears of hardworking people is definitely going to hurt a king, a leader. So I hope that you are not hurting them. You are not making them cry. You are taking care of them. And then he mentions 14 Rajadoshas, which I think, if I give a list of 14 Rajadoshas, you would be able to imagine a leader, a politician, a person whom you voted, and then you can make the decision for yourself. First and foremost, Nastikyam, that is a Rajadosha. Non-believer, the one who does not believe in the path of dharma, the one who does not believe in Vaidika dharma, one who does not believe in the authority of Vedas, that is a Rajadosha. I think almost like 70 to 80% of our politicians are gone from the window. The first Rajadosha. The second one, Anrutam. Now it's 100%. There are no politicians left after this. Anrutam means lie. Lying. It's a Rajadosha. Finished. Now all politicians are gone. There are no proper politicians. According to Arthashastra, according to Ramayana, according to Rama's vision, there are no politicians left anymore in this world. Because either they are Nastikaha or they are Anrutavadina. They are liars and non-believers in the authority of Veda. Second one. Third one, Krodham, anger. Fourth one, Pramadam. Pramada is the inability to see the truth, is called as Pramada. Pramam atti iti Pramadaha. Prama is Yathartha Jnana, truth. The inability to see the truth is also a Rajadosha. Aurangzeb tortured our people, tortured the men and women and children of this country. And as a politician, if you cannot see the truth, forget about speaking the truth. If you cannot see the truth, if you cannot buy the truth, if you cannot be on the side of the truth, then it's a Rajadosha. That is called as Pramada. And then Dirgha Sutrata, procrastination. It shall be done. It will be done. The file, it is still in process. You write to any government department, this is the response you get. It is still in process. Okay. Then, Adarshanam Jnanavatam. What do we mean by Adarshanam Jnanavatam? Not consulting knowledgeable people in the matters of state is a Raja dosha, is a huge dosha. You should always consult some experts. Always consult experts. They do. The government does that. That's why we have so many committees. You go to any ministry, they have plenty of committees. They hire, they take people's opinion, but it is of no use to them because they don't execute it. They just follow the protocol. The protocol says that you have to form a committee. If you, as a commoner, if I write a letter to government saying that, that there is some problem in my area, so and so, the first thing that the government does is to study the problem. They will make sure that a committee is formed. A committee is formed. If nothing, committees are always formed, but they don't heed to their suggestions. That's what. And not heeding to their suggestions and opinions is also a Rajadosha. And then Alasyam, I don't have to explain the word. It's self-explanatory. And then Panchavrittitam. Panchavrittitam is again, it's a kind of loose talk and inability to turn your words into action. That is Panchavrittita. It's kind of a very bad attitude to have as a leader. And then Ekachintanam Arthana. Thinking alone, making decisions alone is a huge problem. We find that kind of a trait in Ravana. He took almost all the major decisions all by himself. That's a very wrong thing to do. All right. Then Anarthagnischa Mantranam. The next dosha is taking counsel of dumbs and idiots who are not intelligent at all. If you surround yourself with dumb people and take their suggestions and opinions, it's really going to harm your country. And then Nischitana Manarambham. What should we say? You have taken a decision, but you have not executed it. Non-execution of decisions. There are plenty of laws waiting in the parliament to be implemented. There are plenty of it. That's a Raja dosha. And then Mantrasya Aparirakshanam. Losing confidential reports, leaking confidential reports. And we have plenty of examples for this. This happens every day. Okay. And we had that whistleblowers, the famous whistleblowers. So this is all Raja dosha. And then Mangaladi Aprayogancha. And not being auspicious. Being inauspicious is a Raja dosha. And then Pratyutthanancha Sarvataha. Making enemies everywhere. That is called as Pratyutthana. It's a very technical term. Few words, when it comes to Arthashastra, there are few words which mean entirely differently in general Samskrita, in Laukika Samskrita, but they have some very specific technical meaning in Arthashastra. So the word Pratyutthana here means not standing up. Pratyutthana here refers to making enemies everywhere. Sorry. And then, so these are the 14 Rajadoshas. And finally, Rama mentions that I hope Kachitvam Varjayasyetana Rajadoshans Chaturdasha. I hope that you are not practicing any of these 14 Rajadoshas. These are the things that needs to be avoided by a king. And then he very gently reminds Bharata, you should always remember, Bharata, that this kingdom was ruled by our great-grandfather, and then by our grandfather, and then by our father. So you have a huge responsibility. You should not offend them. You should not take away all the hard work that these people have put in. So I hope you are taking care of all these things. So this concludes the 100th Sarga of Ayodhya Kanda. Beautiful. I have missed several points because not even 2 hours is enough to cover only the 100th Sarga of Ramayana, of Ramayana's Ayodhya Kanda. Each and every shloka has so much to think and so much to talk about. I have simply concluded with some highlights. And then Bharata responds to it. He says that, but before he could respond, after asking all these questions, finally Rama asked the most important question. The question is, I still did not get, why are you here? Why have you left Ayodhya and come here? I missed you. That's not an answer. Why would you miss me? You see, there is no room for attachment. They are kings. They are royalty. They have a responsibility towards the people. They can't be roaming around with feelings and emotions in their hearts. They have huge responsibilities. So he's not going to be mesmerized with this cute talk. And he was not at all expecting such kind of a cute talk from his brother Bharata. He was expecting much better than that. He asks, everything is fine. You can answer all my questions later, but do answer me this first. Why are you here? Why have you left your post? Hitva rajyam pravishtasthvam tatsarvam vaktumarhasi. Give me a logical explanation. Why have you left your kingdom and come to forest? Now, Bharata starts speaking. He says that, my father, he did a very difficult job. He did a very tough thing to us. And then he left. He did not mention his death. Because in Sanskrita, gataha, the word gataha is used for he went away. It doesn't always mean he passed away. It happens in almost all our native Indian languages as well. We use the same kriya padam, the same verb in both the senses. But it takes some minute observation to get the fact that what exactly the speaker is meaning. So Rama could not grasp in the beginning that he meant that his father is no more. So he thought that Bharata is saying that, he has left a huge responsibility on my shoulders. That's what Bharata is saying. That's how Rama perceived Bharata's words. I hope you got that subtlety here. Okay. And then he says that Putra Shokabhipiditaha. And he left with a huge heavy heart. So he has created a void. That's all he said. And then the main reason for that is because of my mother, Kaikeyi. It's all happened because of her. Now, I want you to come back to Ayodhya, take what is yours by right and rule us. That is the right thing to do. And you are known to be a righteous person. So this is the right thing to do. So why don't you come back here and rule? May this kingdom become Avidhava. Right now, the kingdom is Vidhava, is without a master. The word Vidhava means Dhava is master. Vidhava means without a master. Currently, the kingdom of Ayodhya is Vidhava, without a master, without a king. So why don't you come back and make our kingdom Ayodhya Avidhava, with a master? How? Like how in Sharad Rutu, the moon appears on the sky and makes this entire world beautiful. Likewise, may you come back to Ayodhya and make the entire kingdom happy and pleasant once again. And he started crying. He could not control his tears. He still he has still some pura samskara of that emotional Bharata. He started crying, and he took Rama's feet. He touched his feet, and he held on to Rama's feet and started crying. So Rama answers. He says that, do you think a person like me can break my word just for the sake of a kingdom? See, kingdom comes here and dharma comes here. There is a huge difference. For the sake of kingdom, one must not leave dharma. For the sake of dharma, you may leave everything. But for the sake of kingdom, you cannot leave dharma. Dharma is the supreme one. That is what Rama is trying to highlight here. Kulinaha, the first word he uses for himself is Kulina. We are born in such a great family. Do you have any idea what great kings have ruled before us? And if I do this, it's always going to be a black mark on our family, the tradition, heritage. We need to care about that. We don't care about that these days because we do not know anything about our ancestors. If we do not know anything about our ancestors, then how can we be proud of our ancestors? If we are proud of our ancestors, then we would not take a single step that would harm their legacy, that would hurt their greatness. We are doing it left and right. Why? Because we are unaware of our ancestors. We think that India started from 1947 or zyada se zyada 1857. No, that's not my India. We belong to a clan of rishis. We belong to those great sages. Every person, every single person born in any varna, he may be Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, it doesn't matter. Everybody, they are the son. We are the sons and daughters of those great rishis. Do we remember them? Do we know them? No. All right. So that's why Kulinaha and then Sattva Sampannaha, Tejasvi, Charitavrataha, Rajya Hetu, just for the sake of kingdom. How can I papamacharit? Madvidho Jana. You know that people look up to me, right? And if I do this kind of a thing, tomorrow people are going to do the same thing. And then he consoles Bharata. Rama consoled Bharata saying that, I don't see any mistake from your end. I know that you were not involved in this. Not just you. I don't see any mistake from Kaikeyi either. Nachapi jananim balya tum vigarhitum arhasi. That's why he says that you should never blame Kaikeyi. This is the same Rama who is saying. We have been listening to the story. We have been reading the story. We have been looking at the story from so many years. And yet we have this small doubt in our mind. Even though you say all these things, tathapi, Adru in Kannada, Rama hig ಮಾಡಬಾರದಾಗಿತ್ತು. Rama should not have done like this. Or Kaikeyi should not have done like this. That's where our conclusion ends. But look at Rama's stand. Sorry, I have a very bad throat today. Please excuse me. Then he says he makes one of the iconic statements of Ramayana, which many people would not agree with in today's perspective. There is a huge debate that goes on about this particular subject, but Rama's word is final. He says that Kamakaro Mahaprajna Gurunam Sarvadanaga. Our gurus, by guru he means our parents. Our parents are our masters. They own us. I know how ridiculous it sounds to some modern thinking. Parents don't own us. No, they own us. They own every inch of us. We are anything because of them. This is the point Rama is trying to make. They own every inch of us. So, upapanneshu, they can have their kamakara. The meaning of the word kamakara is whims and fancies. Parents can act according to their whims and fancies with their children, with their better halves. Upapanneshu, dareshu, putreshu cha vidhiyate. 3 people. Upapannaha, those who are living because of them. I mean, who have taken a refuge under them. They can be ordered. They can be utilized. They can be put to use like however they wish, according to their whims and fancies. Sons and daughters, and then a better halves. This is the rule. This is how things are. So, if my father told me, the eldest son, I understand your point. You are saying that I am the eldest one, so the eldest one in the family should get the kingdom. But if my father wants me to go to forest, and if he says that you should go to forest for 14 years, I should go. There is no option for that. You can't appeal in a court of law. And if he says that even though you are the second son, you are the younger one, you get the kingdom, you get the kingdom. Because he is our father. he has his own wish. He can do whatever he wants. So he asked me to go to forest for 14 years, and he has asked you to rule the kingdom. So we both are going to do what we have been asked to do by our father. It's as simple as that. We do how our parents command us to do. He says that Rajye Vaneva Chiravasanam Athava Rajyevapi Maharajo Mam Vasaitum Ishvaraha. He is the Lord. My father is my Lord, and he has the ability to assign me either kingdom or Vanavasa. He is the Prabhu, he is the Lord. He can do anything. Now you tell me, in front of my father, Mata Pitrubhyam, my mother, he considers Kaikeyi equally as his mother, not just in words. You are like my mother. She was not, Kaikeyi was not Rama's Masi in Hindi. You know how the word Masi is usually used? Ma Jaisi is equal to Masi. One who is actually not a mother, but she is like a mother. No, Kaikeyi was not Rama's Masi. No, Kaikeyi was Rama's mother because he considered her as his mother. So Mata Pitrubhyam, when he says Mata Pitrubhyam, he means Kaikeyi and Daśaratha. In the presence of Kaikeyi and Daśaratha, I was ordered to go to forest. Do you want me to break that vow? Do you want me to break that word? So this is finalized. This is done. I have been ordered to stay. I have been ordered to live for 14 years in forest, which I am going to do. And you have been ordered to take care of the kingdom. You have been ordered to rule the kingdom, and you are going to do it. And I shall have no more discussions on this. Is that clear? Bharata says, no, you did not listen to me properly. Anna, there is one more thing that needs to be heard by you. What is that? I am a person who is out of dharma. I have no dharma in me because it's all because of me that this chaos has happened. This chaos has been created because Bharata should be coronated as the king. So it's me in the center of this problem. So what good will this Raja Dharma do to me? To a person who has no dharma, who is not even a man, who is not even a manava. What good can a Raja Dharma do to him? Jeshthe putre sthite Raja nakaniyan bhavendrupaha. He sticks to this line like his life depended on this line. Because this is the core of Bharata's argument. When the elder brother is alive, the younger one cannot be crowned as the king. He sticks to this line. And he says that what is the use of us arguing? First and foremost, you need to perform something. Now Rama was taken aback. What do I need to perform? He says that when I was in my uncle's house, and when you had come here to forest, Daśaratha died. Daśaratha is no more. He died because of the pain that he endured with your loss. None of his sons were around him when he died. So I have already performed the final rites of Daśaratha, but I am very much sure that it would not have pleased him. Why? Priyena kila dattam hi pitrulokeshu raghava akshayam bhavati ityahu bhavaschaiva pituh priya. It is a known fact, my dear brother, that Pitradevatas are pleased when their beloved son gives them Pindadanam or Tilodakam. These are some very typical things. Very soon we are going to have this Mahali Amavasya. So everybody is aware. In India, everybody is aware. They may act aloof that we don't believe in this, we don't know this. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows because this Pitratarpanam is an integral part of each and every household in India. So he says that you are our father's most beloved son. And until and unless you give him that Tilodakam and Pindadanam, my father, our father, would not be pleased. And not just that, in the last shloka, Bharata mentions that Tvameva Shochan, our father died thinking about you, worrying about you. Tavadarshane, his last wish was to see you. And then Tvayeva Saktam Anivartya Buddhim. His final thoughts was you. His final wish was to see Rama. His final thoughts was about Rama. His final words was again Rama. Tvaya Vihinaha. And without you, he died. So, Tvam Samsmaranneva. And he died thinking about you. So, you have to perform the Tilodakam and Pindadanam. Rama breaks down like anything after he hears that his father is no more and he could not be there to perform the final rites of his father. He says that, Bharata, you are the most luckiest son alive in this world. Why? Because you got the opportunity to perform the final rites of our father. And he goes on and he says that, what will I do coming back to Ayodhya? To that Ayodhya which has, where my father is no more. Who will welcome me back to Ayodhya? I'm not interested in people welcoming me or you people welcoming me or garlanding me. I want to be welcomed by my father when I come back to Ayodhya. I think I'm not going to come back at all. Why should I come back? And then he says that you are the most luckiest one, etc., etc. Then he looks at Sita, and he says that, Sita, your father-in-law is no more. And then, oh yes, time for Q&A. Yes, definitely. And then he says that, Pitruhi nosi Lakshmana. Lakshmana, you have, your father is no more. You are a fatherless child. And you, Sita, you don't have a father-in-law anymore. And then he asks Lakshmana, Anaye Ingudi Pinyakam. Ingudi Pinyaka is a pindam. Like how we do it with the rice. It used to be done with some other ingredients back then. So he asks Lakshmana to prepare that Ingudi Pinyaka. And he asks him to bring his Uttariyam. Bring my Uttariyam and prepare this pindam. Let us go to Mandakini, Ganga, and let us perform the Tilodakam and Pindadanam. So Sumantra initiates and he takes all of them. Everybody steps into river Ganges. They take a holy dip in the Ganges, and then he did the Tilodakam and then Pindadanam. And while doing that, I just wanted to highlight this part. What is the influence of Ramayana in our tradition? Many people ask this. In some of the traditions, while giving Tilodakam, they use this exact same shloka, they use this exact same words, even to this day. And they are unaware of it. The people who perform every day, they are unaware of it, that this is taken from Ramayana. And this is the kind of impact that Ramayana has. Now he says that, Yetatte Raja Shardula, he addresses his father. And then he says that, Pitruloka Gatasya, you are now in Pitruloka. Adya Maddattam Upatishtatu. This Jalam, this Tilodakam that I am giving you, may this reach you. Maddattam Upatishtatu. This line is used in Shraddhas, in Pitru Puja, even to this day. And then he places that Ingudi Pinyakam, that is Pindam. Idam Bhungshva Maharaja. He says that, Maharaja, may you please consume this, may you please eat this. And then he says that, Prito Yadashana Vayam. May you be pleased with this aharam. Why is he saying so? Now comes the most important part. Yet another iconic statements made by Valmiki in Ramayana. Many people ask that, who is your God? Is our God a Shila, a stone? Is our God fire? No. Our God is our food. Yadannaha Purusho Bhavati Tadannas Tasya Devata. Two people reiterate this same sentence. The first one to use this statement is Rama. The second one to use this is Kausalya. Yadanna Purusha Rajan Tadannas Tasya Devata. One of the most famous lines from Ramayana. Your food, your anna, Your Annam is your Devata. That's why Annam Brahme Tivyajanat Upanishad. Anna must be considered as Parabrahma, the food. Okay, so this is what happens. And I will take a brief stop here. If you have any questions so far, you can definitely ask.